the guys responded after that kind of really slow start?
They responded well. I mean, started poorly, started as bad as you could possibly start, right? Just the intensity, the fire, the passion, everything it takes to win was not there. So why are we going to practice football if it's useless? We're not. We're just going to bear crawl or do something else.
What do you attribute that to? I mean, the same kind of thing happened. You were talking about after breaks during practice earlier in the week. Is there a theme to it? Or?
Myself, I felt like this. I mean, today I told them, hey, we're going to come out here. We're not going to do individual. We're going to shorten the practice. You guys have had really good workloads, right? So we're going to shorten it a little bit, do a little bit more team, a little bit more 11-on-11 stuff, right? And I don't think I set the tone yet last night. I don't think I set the tone this morning of what practice still looks like, even if it's an hour and 10 minutes instead of 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think I've got to do a better job.
Were you content with kind of how it concluded with the offense in the last period or two?
I thought they moved the ball well, but you know what? We talked about it. We have situational meetings on every other night. We talked about red zone the other day, and you look at those drives. 3 of them drove all the way down the field. The defense got us off the field in the red zone, right? So if you don't finish drives, it's all for naught. Driving the ball all the way down the field in a 13-play drive and kicking a field goal is great, but you're not going to beat the good teams, right? If you win and you're a top 3 team in the red zone, you're going to win over 80% of your games, whether it's stopping or scoring, right? So defense dominated situational football there. Offense dominated the open field. Defense dominated situations.
You reported that Isaiah Johnson's not going to be on the team anymore. Is that, you confirm that? And
that is accurate. That is accurate. He's no longer with the team.
Anything else on that?
No, I mean, he great kid. I literally wish him nothing but the best. I think he's a phenomenal person. I think he's a really, really good football player. I think whoever gets him is going to get a really good person who cares and who is going to be a good football player for him. I think for him, he needs to change the scenery to kind of restart and show people what he can do and who he is.
You don't feel like that's going to be any impact to you at the corner?
No, I mean, I'm worried about the guys on our roster, so he's not on our roster.
You said yesterday the quarterbacks had their best day. How do you feel they built upon that today?
I thought Drew had another good day. I thought Trenton had another solid day. So I thought those guys are starting to get more comfortable. You can probably see it just watching the practice, just like the calmness a little bit and how they play. And this is around the time when quarterbacks should click in a new system. It should take spring, it should take summer, it should take 5 to 7. The middle of fall camp is when it's like, whoa, it just clicks. And when it clicks, it just builds and builds and builds. And I think it's starting to click.
Do you feel that? I mean, I know what you said of the offense, but the defense in general has just been coming out with that passion. But they've taken good steps, big steps too.
Yeah, I mean, when you have guys like Chris Edmonds, Xavier, Shamari, JC, D, Rowe, BJ, Prince, Coop, when you have these dudes who are just fiery competitors, it raises the standard for everybody else. I mean, and that's what the defense has right now. Is they have a group of leaders that are so competitive. We do a scavenger hunt yesterday around the stadium, right? I see JC sweating, screaming at his team. He wins the scavenger hunt and he's as fiery as you'll ever be for a scavenger hunt at 7:30 at night after a full day camp. Winners win. When you compete at that level, when you're driven at that level to want to win, everything you do is like that. And if our players can feed off of those guys I mentioned, how they practice, how they play, how they live, the standard gets raised. Now we need a few more guys on offense who have that dog in them. We got a couple, they flash. Every once in a while they bark. Sometimes the door knocks and they want to sleep. We got to get them every time that door knocks. Every time somebody rings that doorbell, they sprint to the door and they bark and they bite. And we got to get more guys on offense that have that mentality.
I know that you focus 100% on football, but while during practice it was reported widely that Oregon and Washington are headed for the Big Ten. So just, is there any sort of thoughts that you have about any of that or the realignment talk at this point?
I'm fired up for Southern Utah, baby. We're going to play Southern Utah in week 1. And we're going to do everything we can to beat them. And whoever's on our schedule in 2024, repeat.
Again, you mentioned some players that kind of show some of those flashes of that dog mentality. Who are some of those players you feel like that kind of show that on the offense? On
the offense, I think X at times. I think Badge is showing that at times. Frosty. There's a few of them up front, actually. I could pretty much name 3, 4, or 5 of the O linemen that are showing that. I think Scat shows that. that he's a dog, so you can't truck people in practice, right? When we're in tag mode, like you gotta make a move, you know. But I think there's a few, right? But is there enough? Is there enough? Do you watch the tape and say, I don't want to play them? Like, that's how we should be perceived. I think you saw the quote, I think Coach Dillingham said it the other day, about people shouldn't want to play us or fear us. Like, I believe it, because they've created that. We have to create that here. And it doesn't just happen. It's not a switch that you flip. It is something you have to strive daily to achieve. Good days, bad days, those are mindsets that you don't turn off. They're permanently on.
You mentioned that you're not going to make the decision with the quarterback, like the team's going to tell you who is the quarterback. Are you seeing signs from your team that they're kind of starting to formulate an answer for you?
Not yet. We haven't had a scrimmage yet. So when we actually have a real scrimmage, like we have scripted plays today, a couple of scrimmage periods, but when you have a real scrimmage and you see who scores in scrimmage settings, right, that tells you everything you need to know. Is who scores. I remember when the quarterback competition back in, 11 or 12 with Taylor. Nobody thought Taylor was going to win it, and he just scored, and then he won a lot of games. And it's simple. Offense scores, protects the ball. Defense prevents scoring. Be great in situational football on defense. Prevent big plays. Stop third downs. Stop low red. You'll be great on defense. Offense, find a way to score. I don't care how that looks.
Even in that year, there was like a package for Michael Eubank. Do you see any
No
scenario in which you're going to use?
We have one quarterback that our team knows is our leader. Whoever that is will be the guy, and the other people behind him will support him. They'll push him still to become better, and they'll be ready if their opportunity becomes.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.